The college football experience, Tulane Green Wave 2024 season preview episode on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Yes, sign up. And when you do, sign up with the promo code TCE SGPN to claim your special first time deposit offer of up to $250 in bonus cash. Yes, they do have college football. They just announced college football best ball. So check out underdogfantasy.com promo code TCE SGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Rhythm's college football and NFL picks and projections are now live. Claim your free 7-day trial period today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's RITHMM. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. And remember, as always, folks, to let it ride.
This is Mike Leach, head football coach at Mississippi State, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Yes, yes, yes. Woo! Welcome to the college football experience. Tulane Green Wave 2024 season preview episode. Excited to talk Green Wave football, but the Willie Fritz he's moved on. He's now gone to the Houston Cougars. So pivotal year, but I find it ironic that he moves along and the 12 team playoff comes along, because just 2 years ago, Tulane would have been in that thing. And you got to think of the long-term ramifications of what that would mean to the pro. I mean, they actually beat USC. So imagine that.
Yeah. I mean,
they would have won the first round of the playoff.
That's true. That would be amazing. Although I would say the perks of even going to the Cotton Bowl and beating USC there have already started to pay dividends with Mario Williams coming from USC.
Oh my God,
the transfer portal too. So they're already reaping the rewards of being that high. Being in New Orleans, got some guys coming home. We'll talk all about that, but they're in a good place. You're right.
They are in a great place moving forward. Just did the Memphis preview last night. Go listen to that. We love Mississippi River football. If you're wondering just who the hell you're listening to, well, my name is Kobe Swagger Database Dad, aka Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
I'm probably drinking too much and celebrating too much and not sleeping.
Sounds right.
Would have killed a normal man, but no, that's gone. The medical advice I got from that was like being hit by lightning. Pretend it never happened and get on with your life.
We are talking Green Wave football. YouTube.com/the college experience as we continue to break down all 134 college football teams in the land with the solo podcast. 1 hour dedicated to every single team in the land. And I mean, is there one more exciting than Tulane? I think maybe not. I am joined by my co-host. Give it up for former JMU Duke defensive back, the burrito eating, sideline kiss stealing, wheeling and dealing, Patty C in the place to be.
Hi-oh. Well, yeah, buddy.
Let's get it going. Let's
let's talk about these Green Wave a little bit. There was a time when they were in the SEC, right?
Yeah, they've won more SEC championships. Them and Georgia Tech have won more than Mississippi State.
Unbelievable.
And Ole Miss, I believe, right?
Unbelievable. I mean, you think about, I guess
Arkansas and South Carolina.
Yeah,
and Kentucky.
That's pretty insane. I mean, bring them back in to the SEC, and they're all, historically one of the better teams. Look, I just think, historically speaking, they are in New Orleans, as the secondary team in the state, that puts them being essentially, it's not the state capital, but for all intents and purposes, it is the cultural capital and the population capital of Louisiana. They could immediately start to come up in the ranks. And I know Clemson isn't the state flagship of South Carolina, but for whatever reason, they're able to, I mean, there are plenty of examples of teams that aren't the state flagship school that, given power conference status and all the right resources, could challenge. Now, LSU kind of owns that state entirely, but Tulane creeping up.
Well, don't forget Tulane won a natty in '98. So they would have gotten in then with Rich Rodriguez and Tommy Bowden there. And look, I mean, dude, you look at some of the names that have been here, whether it's Larry Smith, whether it's Vince Gibson, whether it's Willie Fritz, whether it's Mac Brown was the coach here a long time ago. They've had a legacy of good coaching here. And now they make the transition to old John Summerall, Patty C. YouTube.com/the college experience. I'm gonna have some fire graphics to throw up here. Right? I mean, first off, what are we doing with this logo? What do we think of this logo? This is why they're a sleeping giant. And shout out to Rob Donaldson in the chat. YouTube.com/the college experience. Tulane used to be a great party school, and anything in New Orleans is automatically a great party school. Summerall was 23-4 in 2 years as a head coach at Troy. He won 2 Sun Belt championships. He was the 2022 Sun Belt Coach of the Year. His worst year was 11-2. His best year was 12-2. Patty C. Which one was worse? But what do you make of that old logo?
I mean it's got the Pelican theme. I love it.
It's fucking flawless.
Pretty
man.
Amazing. I do wonder, what is the green wave about? Is that I've never looked that up. I'm guessing somewhat algae related.
After that oil spill in New Orleans,
everything just started. I would think black wave.
The black wave. But no, I don't know what the hell a green wave is. It's fun. It's campy. They have. Let's talk about best uniforms and best logos. They have so many of them.
Yeah.
They had their uniform can't fail to me.
Yeah.
Their logos can't fail to me.
Green and light blue is just a potent combo.
Like, I love LSU's uniforms, but I'm sorry, you lost the battle to Tulane.
Yeah, I mean that's the other thing, is if they continue to be an elite program and achieve some high accolades, they have such an iconic look that maybe they start to become like, I mean, most of us probably look at Tulane and still think, okay, that's a second-rate team, or it has been for a long time. Now, obviously, the last few years are the exception there, but could you ever see Tulane as a legit powerhouse? I mean, I would think a power conference invite would probably be necessary.
I think they're on the cusp of that right now.
Or just a regular playoff team out of the group of 5 if they become the dominant group of 5 program.
Some people say, like, why, if Miami, or not Miami, I'm sorry, if Clemson and Florida State leave, let's say Clemson, Florida State, North Carolina, Miami leave. Or let's just say it's Clemson, Florida State.
The ACC will snap them in a second.
They already should, in my opinion.
Yeah, they should.
Like UConn, Tulane, Memphis should already be in the ACC if they want to survive.
Yeah, I mean, if you're willing to get SMU,
maybe even
Tulane?
South Florida. Maybe even South Florida.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. They got to start thinking a little bit. Those are more attractive than Stanford and Cal to me.
Yeah.
I mean, SMU made sense.
It's the ACC snobbery, you know. But as far as the Big 12, if they still want to expand, Tulane is geographically a pretty darn good fit too.
Yeah. No, for Memphis and Tulane.
Yeah.
Mississippi River football.
Bring that in.
Shout out to Rob Donaldson. The name came from a football song called "The Rolling Green Wave," written and published by the school newspaper Tulane. Hullabaloo. By editor Earl Sparling.
There it is.
So, folks, now you know why they're the Green Wave. I like it. Patty C, the offense coordinator is Joe Craddock. The DC is Greg Gasparato. This hire is a fucking slam dunk. Can we talk about this? Because he was previously the DC at Tulane, say 7-8 years ago. He knows.
Yeah.
Well, where's my clip?
Because I understand how the bastard thinks. I taught him. Now I own one.
He wasn't with Willie Fritz, but I'm still saying, like, he knows what it's like to be there.
He left. He was under Cam Johnson.
Curtis Johnson.
Curtis Johnson's regime.
The UFL coach for the Houston Gamblers / Roughnecks a season ago. Check out the UFL gambling podcast. This hire's a slam dunk. The more I thought about it, I got to be honest. The best part about previewing all these 134 teams is you sometimes forget in the offseason, but you dive in this and you're like, man, this hire is better than I initially thought.
Yeah.
The guy, and then like some of the moves they've done in the portal. Let's talk about it, Patty C. But I'm going to give that a great hire. We talk about the best wins for the group of 5. Look at that logo too. I mean,
amazing.
They can't fail. They can't fail. Best wins since the turn of the century. Patty C. It's got to be the USC game, right?
Yeah, I mean,
46-45 at Filthy Jerry's World. Should have played it at the Real Cotton Bowl. They did get a couple wins against Hail State in there. Mississippi State.
Couple big ones against UCF.
Yeah. TCU also, and those are TCU with Patterson too, or I think one of the both of them were I think with Patterson.
Might have been robbed of one a couple years ago by a certain tropical storm / hurricane.
Oh my god!
And they had to go to Oklahoma instead of hosting them, and still almost went on the road and got it done.
Yeah. Good point there. USC though, I think is the one. Folks, I do want to tell you, you're listening to the Sports Gambling or the College Football Experience on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, and the Sports Gambling Podcast just launched their 32-team NFL preview. And as no matter how wacky and stupid that new kickoff is, you can still make money in the NFL. All right, and SGP is breaking down 32 episodes for 32 teams. And as a bonus, each team preview will include a code word. Submit the 32 code word phrase, and you could be the lucky winner who gets a $500 NFL Circa future bet. Subscribe wherever you get your podcast and the SGPN app, which is free to download in the App Store and Google Play Store. All right, we're back talking Tulane. Patty C, which one would you go with? Which one would you put on the helmet between those two?
That's tough. That's really tough. I'm gonna go with the first one just because the camp level is through the roof on that. But the second one is smooth, man.
Yeah,
the colors are great there.
Yeah, I mean they just don't fail. They don't fail at this.
And when you're down in New Orleans and it's just such a vibrant party city, you can put that kind of crap on your helmet and get away with it.
It works. Yeah. It's like the Southern Jaguars uniforms, even though they're in Baton Rouge. It just works.
You can be loud and campy all you want.
Yeah.
I want to say this about this coaching staff. This is a young and upcoming coaching staff, and they've been together for a little bit. Craddock came with them from Troy. He was only there with them for a couple years, but
he was only there a couple years. So yeah,
that's true.
Yeah.
And then Gasparotto came with them. I guess was there last year.
Can we get a dish at a New Orleans restaurant close to Tulane called the Gasparotto?
Seriously,
I'll take 2 of those Gasparotos.
I feel like the Gasparilla Bowl is somewhere down there in the South. You gotta have a gas.
Alabama? Where is that?
I have no
idea.
I don't know. Might be Florida.
Buddy, I'm buying in though, and the offense. Let's talk about this. A year ago, 6th and 9th in scoring per game. I should note that Michael Pratt was injured 3 games, including the Ole Miss game. They would have beat Ole Miss if they had Michael Pratt. That game was closer than the final score indicated. What do you make of this logo, by the way?
Sweet. Plain, but it
doesn't fail. Yeah. 69th in scoring per game, 8th best in the AAC, 74th in yards, 9th best in the AAC, 77th in passing, 10th best in the AAC, 68th in rushing, 8th best in the AAC. None of those on the top half, but yet they still won a shit ton of games.
Yeah.
Make it make sense, Patty C.
I can't make it make sense. That doesn't make a ton of sense.
It's Michael Pratt's injury, right? Because they would have been, I think, in the top. You had him injured for 3 games.
He was injured for 3 games. That still doesn't drop your entire season production to the bottom half of the country.
Well, no, I'm talking about within the conference. They would have been top 7 in all of those stats.
Probably, but that's still not that impressive for the best team in the conference. You know?
SMU won. SMU beat them. Yeah,
that's true.
But look, the offense brings back 6 starters. Now I put Kai Horton here at the quarterback spot because he started 3 of those games when Pratt was out. He originally hit the portal, and then Summerall and company talked him back, which is crazy because he's not projected to start right now. But he is a returning starter that started 3 games a season ago. Mekhi Hughes is back at the running back spot. Alex Bauman at the tight end spot. 3 of 5 on the offensive line back. They are breaking in new wideouts. Patty C. 6 starters back. You buying in this offense? What do you think of that logo?
I mean, that one's fun. I don't really. I guess it's a green wave.
They're all amazing, dude.
Yeah. It's like a little monster. It's fun. It's fun. Again, you can get away with silliness if you're in New Orleans.
Buddy, I'm buying in, but let's talk about the portal. They lost some pieces here. The big one, Chris Brazel the third to Tennessee. The Vols grabbing him. That's the big one there.
Brazel was, I guess, their leading receiver. 44 catches, 711 yards. That one hurts.
Losing a guy named Sully Burns can't be good for the team. It makes me think of Sully, the classic character from the movie Commando, who followed a girl to her car that was on the phone that he thought was attractive. And then when she decided not to go to dinner with him, he excessively called her a fucking whore. one of the bigger jumps in the history of cinematic performances.
Right.
He just says, "Hey, you look like a nice woman. What are you doing tonight? Can I take you to dinner?" "No, I'm not interested. I gotta go do something." "You fucking whore."
Made sure we knew he was the bad guy real fast.
Great movie making. So losing Sully Burns, I don't even know if he's any good, but I'm telling you, it means something here. On the defensive, on the incoming way into New Orleans is, by the way, New Orleans, is that the coolest city in America?
It's up there. It's definitely completely unique. You know, Montreal is French in its own right, but obviously that's not in America. Is there any city that's like not exclusively, but primarily French, like in its
you think
history?
You got Spain too there.
I guess there's probably I mean Spain with the Florida influence, but I think Louisiana was certainly like a French territory at the time. So it's just the fact that flavor is still so prominent there. They have such a swagger and like a weird style, and then you mix in like the Cajun or whatever it is, the
Cajun influence.
Yeah, I mean voodoo, all that stuff. It's just fun, and then you got the backwoods, swampy redneck.
Coach O,
True Detective type shit going on.
Can we get Coach O on the staff? He could be a great D-line coach, by the way. Patty C, I was shocked to know that they really killed it in the portal, because look at what they brought in. Ty Thompson from Oregon averaged over 70% completion percentage, was it?
Yeah, for the career he's only at 63, but he has improved drastically each season, although relatively small sample size. But went from 46% or 47% to 55% to 77% completion percentage last year. 4 touchdowns, 1 interception, over 10 yards per pass adjusted average. Those are numbers that project well, you know, if he's able to do that over the course of a whole season.
So let me get this straight. They have Ty Thompson, who seems to be a very good quarterback. They also have Kai Horton, who started 3 games and played pretty decently considering.
Yeah.
Right. Mekhi Hughes is back after a great freshman year at the running back spot. They still have Ashad Clayton Johnson, who was the Colorado transfer, not under Prime, but under Carl Durrell, who I liked then. And they also have Arnold Barnes. The running back room looks to be very good. And then the receiver room, where they lost what's his name to Brazil to Tennessee, but do you see who they brought in? Mario Williams. Yeah. This is a guy that was one of the we thought was going to be one of the best receivers in the nation at Oklahoma. What was it? 40 receptions. This is a guy that comes in at Oklahoma last season, just 29 at USC, and maybe that's why he just felt. But at Oklahoma, he really flourished, and we thought, man, this guy's going to be an NFL
over
first or second rounder.
100 career receptions in college so far. So
dude, he's better than Brazil. And then you're bringing in Shaz Preston from Bama.
Nice.
And they have Keith Brown still on the team. They got Anthony Miller Jr. Is that any relation to Anthony Miller that played for the Denver Broncos and San Diego Chargers?
You would be asking the wrong guy there.
I
haven't done that big of a deep dive on him in particular, but you're right that there's a lot of. Mekhi Hughes, 1,378 rushing yards. That's incredible production. It's almost 1,400 yard back. You got to figure he's on the short list of best group of 5 running backs.
Dude, the offense, so you return 3 of 5 on the O line, and get this, they bring in Derek Graham, who's projected to start, comes in from A&M/Troy. And then Vincent Murphy from Western Kentucky is supposed to start. So you have 5 starting offensive linemen that started college football a year ago. Your receivers, you can make an argument that you got better at wideout. And Ty Thompson is, I can't say he's Michael Pratt yet because he's an NFL quarterback.
Yeah.
But
Michael Pratt, was a work in progress. His completion percentages over his 4 years were 55, 58, 64, 65. So
Gamer though, I like him.
He was a very good player. He's one of the better quarterbacks they've ever had, and he always had a nice touchdown to interception ratio, 90 to 26 over the course of his career. So he will be hard to replace. Let's not kid ourselves.
True. Look, we're going to talk more about that. I want to tell you that the college football experience, Green Wave style, is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. They just launched their Underdog Streaks. Hit your first 2 pick'em entries, and then you go streaking. Bring your Green Wave. If you can get on a 11-0 run, you can win 1,000 times the amount of money you enter. Plus, Best Ball Mania is live with $15 million in prizes. They just added another college football contest for Best Ball. We just dropped an episode regarding that. College football, best ball. Go youtube.com/the college experience. It's there for you. I jumped in for a little bit. Mac, Nick, doing their best, getting over there. I'll destroy their teams when I play them, though. You can now use specials and boost on all flex entries. So sign up, and when you do, sign up with the promo code TCE SGPN to claim your special pick. Plus first time deposit offer of up to $250 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com promo code TCE SGPN. We're also brought to you by Game Time. Yes, Game Time is now an authorized ticket marketplace of the MLB, which makes getting tickets even faster and easier. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to first pitch with killer last minute deals, all at prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee. Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets. So if you're thinking of going up to Atlanta to catch a Braves game or down to Houston to catch the Stros, got to use Game Time. But also Game Time has college football. So if you're going to head out to Yeoman Stadium there, or you get a Tiger Stadium, you hop on over there. All right. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guarantee. But if you want to create an account, use that promo code TC. I'm sorry, I'm fucking that up. CFBX for $20 off your first purchase. Once again, terms apply. Create that account. Redeeming code CFBX. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. All right, Rob Donaldson in the chat saying Ty Thompson's more athletic. Brad Kaya. There we go. Brad Kaya is the guy that made that decision to come out early. Big mistake.
Didn't quite work out.
Big mistake. Patty C, but I really think, and they also brought in kicker Jacob Barnes from La Tech. I really think this offense is pretty damn complete. If Ty Thompson plays the way we think he's capable of, I think this offense doesn't really have a flaw.
Well, especially when you think about I guess how good they were before. Now, it doesn't seem like they brought back a lot of depth in terms of production. I guess Alex Bowman, the starting tight end, is back, 35 catches, 226. You said Keith Brown, he's back.
He's back.
33 catches for 391. So he was tied for the second leading receiver in terms of total reception. So a couple guys that, they
can brought in Shaz Preston and Mario Williams. I think they're actually more talented at wideout than they were.
Yeah,
season.
And let's be honest. Last season the production wasn't insane, so it's not unreasonable to think that they could get better.
What do you think of that old logo?
Pretty good.
Yeah, they don't fail, dude.
Yeah.
Defensively, this is their forte. 23rd in scoring per game a season ago, second in the AAC, 36th in yards, second in the AAC, 72nd in passing, which was 9th best in the AAC, but number 1 in rush defense, top 20 rush defense, coming in at number 16. Patty C, which one jumps out to you there?
I guess the scoring defense is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Rush defense is excellent. And fortunately for them, I think, I guess a little bit unfortunately, their weak point, the passing defense, is where they lost a lot. So unless they were able to replenish it through the portal, significantly, then that may continue to be a bit of a struggle for them.
Well, the beauty of bringing in John Summerall is that's what he does. He does defense. All right.
Yeah. Hey, whoever that athletic director, if he was responsible for A, hiring Willie Fritz, and then B, allowing Willie Fritz to develop that program, which it took a little while, but I mean it is clearly going now. And then you go in and you get a defensive guy who's gonna be. Does it seem like it's much of a drop off from a coaching?
No,
standpoint?
Troy was number 14 in the nation in defense last year.
Troy, yeah, so they will probably improve defensively. Unreal hire, fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, that just goes to show that Tulane is now in a position that coaches recognize is a good spot.
Yeah. We're going to talk more on the defensive side of the ball, but I want to tell you the college football experience is brought to you by Rhythm. Football season is here. College football and NFL models are now live on Rhythm. Create your own winning betting model or let Rhythm do the heavy lifting for you. You decide what stats matter most for you, and then Rhythm will build a custom model around that. Or you could just sit back and let Rhythm do everything for you. Do all the heavy lifting for you. Rhythm uses AI projections from MIT data scientists and quants. Rhythm already has you covered for NFL Week 1 and college football Week 0. I touched on this. I'm all over the Georgia Tech plus 13 there in Dublin, Ireland. I think that's a great play to do against Florida State Week 0. We're also by the way, get on over to Rhythm. Claim your free 7-day trial period today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. We're also brought to you by Circus Survivor and Circa Millions. Circus Sports is back with Circus Survivor and Circa Millions, giving away $16 million in guaranteed prizes. Imagine the regret you'll feel if you win your office Survivor pool but didn't enter the Circa ones, because those picks would have been good in anything. You'd be a millionaire. So don't have that regret. If you don't have a trip booked for Vegas yet before football season, may I recommend Ultimate Contest Weekend? It's a great time to go out. You can hang with my pals Stacking the Money Green and Real Money Kramer and enjoy some of the open bar events at the greatest sports book in the world, August 22nd through August 24th. Also use the promo code SGP15 to save you 15% off your hotel room for sign up weekend. But you do want to sign up in person at Circus Sports between now and September 7th, and you could use a proxy to play from anywhere. We even have a deal with the proxy. Go to proxy.footballcontest.com to save you $50 with the promo code SGP. All right, we are back talking Green Wave football. Patty C, this defense was fire last year.
Real quick,
what's that?
Summerall, only 42 years old, from Huntsville, Alabama, went to Kentucky. Was Kentucky's defensive coordinator 2 years ago. Kentucky was number 25 in the nation in terms of total yardage defense. He's got to be. They got to be worried about him getting snatched up
by Kentucky.
Probably by Kentucky, yeah. If Stoops leaves, or any other SEC or AC Big 12. I mean, he's right there in the middle of all three of those, recruiting bases essentially right now.
Stoops almost took the A&M job, but he thought he took it. And then they pulled the old fast one on him,
right?
Exactly. And he told the team, I think. So
if
he
Stoops
might
ever
have been
gets the respect that he's due, then Summerall's probably going to Kentucky.
You got to wonder. You got to worry if Florida fires Napier. Do they call Stoops?
Do they call Stoops?
Because Bob Stoops started his. That was his big break. Was Florida first?
Stoops' blood is down in Gainesville.
Yeah.
Well, hold on to him and make the most of Summerall while you got him.
Yeah. 4 starters back on the defensive side of the ball. Only one on the D line with Eric Hicks. Patty C, both their linebackers back. Tyler Grubbs and Jesus Machado. Strong safety Bailey Despani is back, and punter Will Carroll as well. Buddy.
Top 3 tacklers, but after that, the next 6 tacklers have all moved on.
Don't worry. One thing I know about Troy, they were a hard hitting team. Look what they brought in. They got on the D line. They bring in Deal from TCU. Or no, I'm sorry, they lost Deal to TCU. Right? Am I crazy? Yeah, they lost Deal to TCU. This team traded defensive linemen. They also lost the big ones here. Keith Cooper, who had like 6 sacks, I think it was a season ago, heads out to Houston. Corey Platt also goes to Houston, as well as Kentrell Webb. Willie Fritz calling them in. Also DJ Douglas to the Florida Gators. But those are some hits. They took more hits on the defensive side of the ball than the offensive side of the ball in the portal. But
it's pretty incredible that no one was drafted off of this defense.
Yeah,
Well,
those guys will be.
Yeah,
some of those guys will be. What they brought in though, Patty C, Patrick Jenkins from TCU is supposed to start on this D line. Started some at TCU, but then look at the Troy gets Deshaun Batiste. Coming in from Troy, Caleb Ranshaw from Troy, and both safeties a season ago from Troy, and Rogers and Chin Chow, yeah,
there it is.
I
know that Michael Robinson dude had like 5 picks at Furman last year. Granted, that's FCS, but still, if you're a ball hawk on one level, you're probably going to be able to get to the ball on the next level.
Well, and like I said, they grabbed half their defense, so I'm liking what they're doing here. And then Micah Robinson was a star corner in the FCS at Furman. He's supposed to start for them. Buddy, where's the flaw in this team right now? Because you're still running the same defense at Troy. Troy was respectable at defense. I don't see where this team falls off.
You say you're still running the same defense at Troy.
Those guys that are transferring in ran that defense.
Yeah,
so,
I mean,
like,
assuming all 3 of the or 4 of those transfers will start for him.
they're penciled in to start for him.
Yeah, then that is continuity in that system that speeds up the learning curve a little bit, and then you have the guys that are returning anyway. They're learning a new system, but they've gotten plenty of play time. So I think they're probably in a decent spot. It's tough to replicate what they did last year. I think on that alone, they'll probably regress a little bit.
Troy was ranked higher than Tulane last year.
That's true. You said Troy was 14 and Tulane
23rd, was it?
23rd.
Wait, let me go back to it. Tulane was 23rd, in scoring, 36 in yards. Troy was 14th in yards, I believe.
I mean, that's a huge jump, 36 to 14. Maybe they could improve defensively. I mean, obviously from 36, they could improve. So, wow. I mean, I wouldn't expect Tulane to be getting better, but here we are. Maybe they can be.
Well, especially the way the portal breaks these days, where you could bring in your whole roster. Look, I do in this preview. I was doing the prep for it over the past few hours, and I was just like, man, I'm really I thought there'd be more regression.
Yeah.
I kind of like what I see. The win total sitting at 7.5. What do you make of that logo, Petty C?
Solid. Weird. I mean, it looks like
the worst of all of them is right here.
Yeah, Woody Woodpecker essentially. But
7.5 wins. The overs at -150. The unders at +125. Over at DK, they are +350 to win the AAC championship. They're +1,000 to make the 12-team playoff, and they're +50,000 to win the national championship. How do you see? I know we're going to get to the win total right now, but like my first reaction is over just because the team is way better than I thought it would be. You know what I mean? Like when breaking down 134 teams, sometimes that's the beauty of the summer and doing these episodes. Sometimes you forget. I thought like, it'd probably take him 2 years to get it going at Troy, from Troy to Tulane.
You see a team that hasn't historically had that success, and the dude that got them there leaves. You expect regression, but rarely do you see a coach step in that's as hot as Summer.
Well, and just the fact you return that much production, you go out in the portal aggressively and bring in like Mario Williams is one, like, call me crazy, but like he could start at a lot of teams to me. Like if Michigan went and got him, I'd be like, oh, he's starting for them. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like
not a huge dude. What is he? 5'9", 186, but
he's a baller though, dude.
Yeah.
And even Kai Preen coming in from LSU, we didn't even mention. Just bringing in transfers from LSU, Bama, USC / Oklahoma, and it's not like they didn't perform. I think they're solid gets. I'm gonna lean over here,
just without
even looking. How about you? Like without looking, would you lean over on that or no?
With a 7.5,
yeah,
for a team that has won 11 in the regular season in consecutive years, yeah, I'm gonna lean over.
Back to that fire ass logo. And here's the schedule on open Thursday night, August 29th, man. We're just 22 days away from this thing. The Lions of Sela come to town.
Sorry, they you don't count the conference championship as part of the win total. So they were 10-2, 10-2 still.
And with the quarterback out for a couple of those?
That was 2 years ago. They were 10-2 in the regular season. Last year, 11-1. Should have been 12-0.
Yeah. Patty C, you got him beating Sela?
I do. Easy peasy.
I do too. Even though Sela's like a respectable FCS, but
who do you think has the more French names on the roster? Because looking through this, there's plenty on Tulane, and they're in New Orleans. They should be, but that's always a fun part.
And
of these
Sela's
teams.
What Hammond, Louisiana,
Southeast
Strawberry Louisiana. Stadium there.
It's got to be close to New Orleans if it's Southeast Louisiana.
Don't start me lying. I mean, I've gotten drunk in Baton Rouge a few times. Gotten drunk in New Orleans.
I'm gonna look up the distance for that. Not that
driven through the state a couple times, but
there you go.
I don't remember anything.
Yeah.
I gotta want to know, and then you know what's crazy, man? We did the K-State preview. Go listen to it. Well, all of our previews are almost. We're almost done here. We're in the last stretch. I had Kansas State beating Tulane in New Orleans, Patty C. But boy, for Avery Johnson, I kind of think I might have been a little.
It's easy to see a tide turn.
Might have been a little full of myself. I think that game. I almost think I lean Tulane now.
Well, the quarterback situation at
Kansas State, Avery Johnson, but
Avery.
We haven't seen him really like with all the keys. Before it was Will Howard.
It's pretty early, for him in his true starting role here. Yeah, I can see an upset happening here in New Orleans. That would be phenomenal.
Well, they beat him in Manhattan, Kansas 2 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, if they could get this would kind of hit the over right here off the bat. I would think Southeast Louisiana to Tulane. By the way, 57-minute drive.
Look,
57.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
Look, I'll still take K-State. I'm not going to fully Benedict this one easy, but I will say this. When you're doing the preview, like I did the Kansas State preview and I was like, nah, Tulane's lost too much. Well, shit, we hadn't done the Tulane preview yet. When you do the Tulane preview, you're like, well, actually they're pretty solid. I'll still lean K-State, but
yeah, throw that in the 50-50 pile.
Yeah.
That's going to be a really small pile because other than, I think that's probably the only 50-50 game on the schedule.
Yeah. And then they go to Gaylord Memorial Stadium, their Oklahoma Memorial Stadium, take on Brian Bosworth's alma mater, the Oklahoma Sooners. Patty, see, this is more of a game than I thought before too.
It could be
Mario Williams against his former team.
Hello.
I'll take Oklahoma in this one.
Yeah.
1-2. Do we got him 1-2?
I guess we have him 1-2, but again, if there's another 50-50, then we're going to hand them a win. Or you know what I'll do? If there's three games that they might lose one of them in, I might give them a win in that one. So we'll see.
Yeah. On September 21st, they love this game on the schedule.
Dangerous game.
Raging Cajuns against the Green Wave. This should happen more often.
How do you have this as the 11th hardest game on their schedule, or 11th, especially since it's on the road?
Well, I just don't think they're that good. Like
6-6.
Wait, did I fuck this up? I fucked this up. I have Southeast Louisiana as the hardest.
Okay. Yeah.
I forgot to adjust these. My apologies. Yeah. So disregard the numbers on the right. I blame Patty C for all of that. I got them beating Louisiana though at Cajun Field though. But I love this game on the schedule. I'm going to be watching this game. They should move this to a Thursday or Friday though.
Yeah, this is a great game.
Yeah. Who are you taking?
I am taking Tulane, but a few years ago, Louisiana was the better team. Would you say? I mean, I don't know. That's questionable just because the Sun Belt wasn't on the level of the American a few years ago. But they were certainly the kings of the Sun Belt for a few years, Louisiana, whereas Tulane was kind of good but not great in the American. Since then, obviously, Tulane is the better team over the past few years. I expect that trend to continue this year, even on the road.
Yeah.
3-2.
Shout out to Easy, who understands
that's 2-2.
How I could fuck shit up. You guys, you're doing like 200 shows all with a PowerPoint on all of them. You're pretty much forgiven for Benedict. It is true, man. Sometimes I go a little delusional. I'll be honest. I went to the doctor yesterday. Doctor's recommendations to
Get some fucking sleep.
chill out on life a little bit. I'm serious.
Really? It's like, dude,
Doctor's
your heart rate
recommendation
is resting
said,
190.
like, chill out a little bit, dude.
Really?
You're a bit insane. So it was like that scene in Goodfellas when Ray Liotta drops off somebody, and like the doctor's supposed to be looking at the person Ray Liotta dropped off. He looks at Ray Liotta and says, "Like, dude, where the hell you been? Get in here. Here's an IV." Buddy, I got him 2-2 as well, but a decent shot of being 3-1. Then you have a home game against South Florida. This game's awesome.
This is a little bit of a dangerous game, but it's very good that they got him at
Tulane's
home.
better.
I agree.
Than them. So
Although I think South Florida is improving every year.
I do. I agree with you. So that would put them at 3-2, but that's the AAC opener.
It's a big one.
So
that's probably the second most
great schedule.
most important game on their schedule because honestly, K-State and Oklahoma. What if the
most important game is the game on Thanksgiving against Memphis?
Yeah, that's the most important game. because it probably has not only conference championship implications, but potentially college football playoff implications, especially that late in the season. But South Florida is also probably the only other team that's really going to threaten them. That's a great schedule,
dude. This schedule is really incredible because look, you're 3. And I'm sorry, we're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's go one by one. I'll say it at the end.
Yeah.
They after they beat South Florida, they head to Penetrope Stadium, take on Trent Dilfer and UAB. Win. They get a bye week. I like this bye week because I do think Rice is probably the 3rd best AAC team on their schedule. So they get a bye week before 2 of them.
That's wild.
Yeah.
If Rice is the number 3,
well, they were a bowl team last year.
Still.
Yeah. EJ Warner comes in.
Yeah. You got to give them a little respect, but Tulane has been a far better team than Rice has.
So I got them beating Rice. You too.
Yeah.
Then they had to Denton, Texas, take on North Texas, Mean Green.
Yeah, pretty easy win here.
I agree. And then at Charlotte, this one's sneaky because I actually feel like Charlotte can bang with them, but they're going to beat Charlotte. They're better.
Yeah.
And I don't know. This is on Halloween. This game is actually a scarier game to me.
I'll tell you that. Yeah. Those 4 games at UAB, at North Texas, at Charlotte, and then hosting Rice. There's the accumulative effect of that is getting close to a loss.
I know you're not with us on Charlotte, but me and Nick did the Charlotte preview. The reason why I'm bullish on Charlotte is the whole conference is like pass happy. You know, like Temple passes the shit out of the ball. Memphis passes the shit out of the ball. North Texas passes the shit out of the ball. South Florida passes the shit out of the ball. Right? Rice passes the shit out of the ball a little bit.
Charlotte just slams the rock.
Charlotte is fucking. He comes from
Michigan.
Jim Harbaugh. Yeah. And like their toughness. Now I know that last season they weren't great, but I'm saying like they showed signs to me in some of the key games where and now they added a bunch of FBS transfers where I think the depth is starting to develop some. And I think they can be a hard game. You saw Memphis almost lost to Charlotte last year. Game went to overtime.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
It's just the zig and zag thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You find yourself in a little low scoring, a ball control slugfest. That's a classic coaching approach. I would love to know more about Biff Poggi. I mean, he's 64 years old.
He's a self-made millionaire, dude. Like,
but he was coaching high school football until 2020.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Buddy, I got them. I mean, they should be favored in all these. I got the Charlotte game. I will say this though. If I'm calling for an upset, you know what? Give me Charlotte to beat them. Give me Charlotte to beat them. Then they're home to Temple, and then at Navy. Do you got them losing any of those?
I'll say by the Navy game, they have the second loss, and it might be to Navy. What was it? Wing T or single wing? What did they say they're running?
They're passing more single wing.
Single wing.
Single wing, I think they said.
That's a very high school offense, but I love it. Come on, let's go.
I'll take the under.
Yeah. Although, look, you want to talk about the ultimate zagging while everyone else is zigging.
Please.
Running the single wing is a pretty big zig.
They get a bye week, and then our favorite game of the year, with the game we've lobbied, they need to take a riverboat to. We are big fans of Mississippi River football.
Yeah.
But we think if you're going to do this, Tulane and Memphis, every year is our Thanksgiving Day game. Yeah. We want you to document this and take a riverboat to these games each time.
Unfortunately, most years you're not going to have 2 bye weeks throughout the season. This is a special year, and so you have
to leave on the 15th.
Yeah, leave right after the Navy game and just smoke cigars all the way down.
Gambling, high stakes gambling. You're on international waters.
That's
maybe
right. The whole trip should look like that movie Maverick.
Exactly.
Yeah,
dude. I'm fascinated by the Mississippi River culture just because all those blues musicians and jazz musicians, that to make any money, because America was really not accepting them except the black communities, like they would just travel up the Mississippi River because it was very affordable. And that's, the story of the music. That's why it hit Chicago and St. Louis and Memphis and New Orleans. There a lot of them was from New Orleans, but
Memphis and New Orleans were responsible
it's
for creating
fantastic,
that.
dude. It's
I'm
fantastic.
glad that those two are, I was wondering who those teams' rivals would be. They didn't have it figured out yet, and now they have emerged as playing each other at the end of the year. Is this the second year that they're playing at the end of the year?
I actually think they played it further a few years ago back there, but
last year they didn't even do it.
But I'm saying, like, I saw when I was doing my homework, like they did play some on the final game of the year, like historically.
Okay, well, if this is and this one is on Thanksgiving, right? Is it?
Yes, it is. They replaced the Egg Bowl with this. This could have major implications on the 12-team playoff. By the way.
Yeah, I mean
Get your NFL bullshit out of here on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, these two teams have like among the probably the top 5 in the chances that they end up in the playoffs. So this game could probably be the determiner who makes it. Look, I love it. I want it to be on Thanksgiving every year.
Dude, the schedule's incredible though. I'm all over the over here. I think there's a shot. If they beat Kansas State week 2, watch out. They could go 11-1 because, buddy, they get their best opponents. Okay, throw out the Oklahoma game. They're playing with house money in the Oklahoma game, right?
Yeah.
They get Kansas State, South Florida, and Memphis, and Rice, who was a bowl team, all in Yulman Stadium. That's fantastic. I think they're in the AAC championship playing my East Carolina Pirates.
Keeping rolling. Let me say this: Ty Thompson, though, his 77% completion percentage, is that kind of based on the fact that we know that
Oregon's offense was amazing.
Bo Nix, somehow became a top 10 pick after failing out of Auburn, essentially, not academically, but football wise. Ty Thompson all of a sudden looking like Joe Montana. Is he going to come back down to earth, and is this offense going to succeed? That's a huge question mark. But if he does, if he can even come close to replicating last year's output, then Tulane should have a phenomenal season.
Patty C, the road spots are incredible. I mean, okay, throw out Oklahoma, but I'm saying Louisiana was 6-6 last year.
Yeah.
UAB won what, 2 or 3 games?
4, I think. Was it?
Yeah, whatever. I don't know. Trent Dilfer wasn't super impressive. North Texas looked like ass last year.
Yes.
Charlotte won 3 games last year. Now both North Texas and Charlotte were first year coaches, and UAB. So maybe they're and Navy. Fuck, they get all the first year coaches in year 2. But Navy only won 5 games, so it's like you don't have one winning team on the road besides Oklahoma. But that game you're playing with house money.
Yeah. Even still, getting year 2 coaches on the road is nice. You know, a lot of coaches don't get it going until 3 or 4.
7.5. Get the fuck out of here.
I almost feel like they should be the playoff favorite.
I think they should be. I think they should.
I mean, I was thinking Boise.
I was thinking Boise too, but either the odds are Boise 1, Memphis 2. I'm sorry, Tulane's roster I think is better than Memphis's roster, and the schedule is nicer.
Seth Hennigan at Memphis makes them a more well-known quarterback situation. And so for 2 pretty evenly matched teams talent-wise, it's nice to have the better quarterback. Granted, this game being at home on Thanksgiving is massive. I lean Tulane in this game a little bit.
I do too. Yeah,
slightly.
Memphis needs to prove it to me on the road. They didn't have. I think I did this on the Memphis preview where they didn't. Silverfield is record against winning teams is not very good, especially on the road. Yeah. On the road, he's really had struggles against good teams.
I mean, great time to catch Memphis at the end of the year where Summerall's had time to really get this thing worked out.
Yeah. Folks, I'm on the over. Patty C's on the over.
Lock it.
I think this is a lock too.
7.5. Get out of here.
Plus 1,000 to make the 12-team playoff, Patty C.
Great value.
Let's go. Timothy Green. The hardest games on the schedule. Yeah, I fucked up that number. The graphics. If I had to rank them, it would be 1, obviously at Oklahoma. 2, I actually think would be for them. I almost feel like Memphis is more important than Kansas State,
but hardest.
2. So let's put 2 K-State, 3 Memphis.
Memphis, they won at Memphis by 10 last year. Yeah. It was 2 years ago. They won in at K-State by 7.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you know what's crazy about the schedule, Patty C, is if they get K-State or Oklahoma, or even if they lose to both, there's a decent shot like K-State wins the Big 12 and Oklahoma is in the college football playoffs. So you might have 2 losses to playoff teams.
Yeah. Or look, if you beat Kansas State and they end up winning the Big 12, then Tulane's going to get a bye to the quarterfinals.
That would be incredible.
Or Oklahoma, but Oklahoma's got such a hard schedule. They're not. I don't see them as a legit playoff team. But
I don't.
Kansas State is what third in the preseason according to Vegas. Second.
I think second in the Big 12. Yeah.
Wow.
Opportunity is there. I'm on the over. I'll also sprinkle that 1,000 plus 1,000 to make the 12-team playoff. Patty C is on the over as well. Lock it up. Play our music here. ECU Tulane AAC championship. Sign me up, Patty C. Let's go.
Well,
folks, we're just getting started. We have our win totals locks episodes coming up next. SEC season preview, win total locks, and our SEC championship picks. Get on over there. We're coming right back in about 10 or 15 minutes. So, Patty C's on Twitter at PattyC831. I'm on Twitter at TheColbyD. The College Football Experience is on Twitter at TCE on SGPN. YouTube.com/The College Experience. Get on over there. Hit that like and subscribe button. Also, check out the College Basketball Experience. Ron Hunter, big year there. Big year. Also, check out the College Baseball Experience. Louisiana does college baseball, right? Also, check out the Stadium Heads podcast. We love Yeoman Stadium. A great new stadium. I mean, we miss the old Tulane Stadium. Obviously, it was great, but Yeoman's been a great stadium on campus there. Get that Superdome bullshit out of here. All right. So check out the Stadium Heads podcast where we talk about the history of college football and college football stadiums. Also, check out the Sports Gambling podcast, Bottom Line Bombs, all that good stuff. Until next time, folks, I'm on the over. Patty C's on the over. Lock it up. This is the College Football Experience, Tulane Green Wave style. I even have a drop for you.
It's easy to see a tide turn.
And we out of here.
Run,